Welcome, and thank you for tuning in to the Sunday services at Center for Spiritual Living, Denver. We are a loving and prospering community in the heart of Denver and online. We now conduct hybrid services at the historic Grant Avenue Community Center and Sacred Place, located at 216 South Grant Street, Denver, Colorado. All are welcomed here. A place, space, and face of love. We are a spiritual community practicing universal principles that enrich our lives. We are grateful that you have blessed us with your presence. While online, we'd love to know you're watching with us. Feel free to leave a comment and let everyone appreciate you. With everything going on, life can feel overwhelming. CSL Denver wants you to know we are here for you. Please know that our practitioners are available for personal prayer work. Our licensed spiritual practitioners' names and phone numbers are available on our website at csldenver.org. Or if you have a prayer request, feel free to email it to info@csldenver.org. For your convenience, you'll find clickable links in the description of this broadcast. Rev Elzia, along with all our guest speakers, practitioners, service coordinators, and musical inspirations, want you to know how truly grateful we are that you are with us today. Thank you for your continued support and participation in our services, workshops, and events, as well as providing financial contributions to our center. If you're interested in upcoming events and information, we send out weekly newsletters. Sign up by visiting www.csldenver.org. We deliver services in a hybrid format where we meet in person at 216 South Grant Street. We will also continue to live stream all services on Facebook and YouTube every Sunday. Find us on our respective channels as well as on New Thought Media Network. Again, thank you for your precious attention. Now prepare for engaging enlightenment.
There is a garden where dreams come true, a beautiful garden where God's grace blooms. There is a garden where everything grows, a beautiful garden where love is sown. And in this place of light and love, you can have anything that you're dreaming of. There is a garden where dreams come true, a beautiful garden. That garden is you. And in this place of light and love, you can't have anything that you're dreaming of. There is a garden where dreams come true, a beautiful garden. That garden is you. Such a beautiful garden. That garden is you.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Teresa Cardenas, practitioner at CSL Denver. I invite you to close your eyes for our invocation. We are all one spirit, one mind, one omnipotent energy in and through all things. And we know this morning as we gather together, whether we are online or in person or in a mosque, a temple, a church, or out in Mother Nature itself, that we are all connected and that we are divine beings having a human experience, spiritual beings in a human experience on this planet. And we know that as we come together as a community, we just enhance that feeling of love and light and know that we are coming together for the highest and best good of all concerned. So as we move into this place in our heart and in the community, we align with the perfect light, that perfect nature of who we are, that imperfect perfectness of who we are. And we just say, thank you, Spirit. Thank you for all that is with us today, all of who we are as we move into this world and into another week with the divine grace of Spirit at our back. And so it is.
So it is.
Our reading this morning is from transpersonal psychologist Sue Mertens. The search for meaning in our lives takes place upon the path of healing. The steps we take on this path are individual and unique. No one else travels on our path. Although we accept help from others, our path is our own. Therefore, we must calibrate our own GPS by using our inner locus of control rather than our outer locus of control. The outer locus of control gives power to conditions, and we turn away from that. And we know that the first calibration is to believe we can change because we want to change. Second, we understand perception of what happens to us is an inside choice. Third, we come to understand that true power is not out there, it's in here. It is all about what's in here. Pay attention to how we create our discomfort. Be open to any and all opportunities to expand your life, to move into a wider world, to become more independent, to live your own life on your own terms. Know that the form and timetable are in the hands of your inner wisdom. Your task is not the how or when, but the what. Getting clear about what you want in life, what work feeds your soul, what you are meant to do, what lifestyle you want to live. These things are not dependent on others and what they might or might not do. When we recalibrate, we are getting back on our soul path. This is likely to entail some suffering because you are setting yourself against the mainstream culture. And people are likely to criticize you, feel threatened by you, or envious of you. You will even find those in other parts of yourself that you've clung to far too long. Expect that most people won't get it because most people are still in a state of childhood and fearful of being an authority of their own lives. Don't let this distract you from your path. Your path is not guided by your ego. Your path is guided by your big letter S self. Your self is a wiser and better director of life. Knowing we can turn within, we request guidance, and trust what comes will make it possible to find meaning in our lives. This is the path to healing. And Ernest Holmes accentuates that fact when he says, "We have within us a power that is greater than anything we shall ever contact in the outer, a power that can overcome every obstacle in our life and set us safe, satisfied, and at peace, healed and prosperous in a new light and in a new life." Now we will have music by Bob Seema in his song, "I Don't Know, and That's All Right."
Greetings, CSL Denver, coming in live, sort of, with you. We've been sending in videos because I had just had a surgery a couple weeks ago, and I'm recovering, and I'm feeling good enough to maybe belt out a song for you. A brand new song. That's why Shannon's not here singing with me. She doesn't know this song yet. So fresh off the press, hot off the press, as they say. It's definitely about self-care and taking care of yourself and not worrying. The title of this is "I Don't Know, and That's All Right." And so this came through the leading up to my surgery, just the health challenge I was dealing with, and getting close to being on the other side of it now. And you know, in those moments, you get those feelings of like, you know, these worst case scenarios come up, and all these, you know, these thoughts that can flood your mind because you don't know and what's going on necessarily. And anyway, this song is going to be on my 10th album. With that to say, there's 9 other albums. There's a link here. You can go to that website. You can download any song you want. Albums, you can order a flash drive, or you can order a CD. I just wanted to say that because I'd love for you guys to have this music, have it in your lives, playing in your homes, your kids listening to it, your grandparents, whoever. I have been fortunate enough to win 5 Posse Awards for some of these songs, been nominated for 15, I think. So the songs have some traction really in the New Thought world. I think they would mean a lot to you, and it would mean a lot to us, I know, for you guys to have them. But anyway, this is a new song, and it's called "I Don't Know, and That's All Right." Can you find your way in the dark? Can you close your eyes and follow your heart? And on the roads where you can't see around the bend, can you go within, be your own best friend? Can you live in the mystery? Just let go. Can you enter this moment, embracing what you don't yet know, and say, yeah, I don't know, and that's alright. Things will reveal themselves to me in time. But for now, I'm living in a place that feels so nice, but I don't know, and that's alright. When you were wondering when you're wondering will end, can you hold that thought, sit back and just pretend that everything is arranging itself for your highest good. And to your patient mind, this will all be understood. Can you live in mystery? Can you just let go? And can you enter this moment, embracing what you don't yet know? And say, yeah, I don't know, and that's alright. Things will reveal themselves to me in time. But for now I'm living in a place that feels so nice, where I don't know, that's alright. Not needing to know it's a superpower, it's a state of mind. Sinking into a trust that can only come from deep inside. Not knowing is a knowing that there's a grand design. I don't know, and that's alright. Y'all can sing it with me. I don't know, and that's alright. I don't know, and that's alright.
Thank you, Bob. We're very happy to have you as our guest musician during this month. So I want to introduce our guest speaker today. Her name is Reverend Kelly Robbins, and we are so happy to have her. And Reverend Kelly brings a modern voice to ancient teachings, empowering us to live our lives fully using the principles of love and universal law. Kelly is a frequent contributor to the Science Mind magazine. She actually has something in last month's, in the July issue of the Science Mind magazine, and is the author of Trust Your Next Step, Creating the Confidence to Cut Fresh Tracks. She also produces the Fresh Tracks with Kelly Robbins podcast. So please help me welcome Reverend Kelly Robbins.
Thank you for having me. It's nice to be here. This is my first time here. So thank you. What a wonderful, you guys like covered a whole talk between your beautiful reading and that song. It was gorgeous. Like, I feel very filled. And as I was preparing for today's talk, I couldn't help but think of a story of a mom who was at work and her daughter was home while she was working, and her daughter called her and she was sick. And she said, "Mom, I'm kind of scared. I don't feel well. Will you come home?" So the mom, little bit of panic, asked her boss, "Can I go get some medicine and bring it home to my daughter?" And the boss said, "Of course, go." So she hops in her car, goes driving to the Walgreens. It's starting to kind of rain, and she's like, "Well, I'm just going to run in real quick and run out." She goes in, gets medicine, comes back out, and she realizes she locked her keys in the car. So she's already like flustered and a little panicky. So she goes back inside the store and says, "Help, I locked my keys in my car. My daughter's home sick." Blah, she's getting just panicky. And they don't know what to do. Like, what do you do anymore when people lock their keys in the car? So someone finally gets her a hanger and says, "Here, try this." So she goes out. The rain is continuing to get harder and harder, and she can't figure it out. And she finally just stops and says, "God, please help me." Just like that. She looked up, and then she sat there for a minute, still just panicking with the hanger, and a truck pulls up behind her. And out comes this kind of scary looking, kind of gruff guy. His clothes are kind of torn, he's dirty, but she just runs up to him and she explained what was happening. Can you please help me? I need to get some medicine to my daughter. I locked my keys in the car. You know, just the panic. And the man says, just hold on a second. Let me see what I can do. So he goes and in like 2 minutes, gets her car unlocked. And she gave him a big hug and she said, thank you so much. You are so kind. And he said, ma'am, I am not kind. He goes, I just escaped from prison. And she's like, you know, she doesn't care. She says, thank you. He goes, I just escaped from prison. I used to steal cars. And she says, God, thank you for sending a professional. So it's funny. And a lot of that is just your outlook, right? It was an outlook and an expectation. She asked, and it was, you know, she took what showed up, and it was how she was viewing things. So today we're going to be talking about healing. And what does that mean? Healing, like the topics, Healing 101. And it's such a broad topic, I thought, as we're preparing this. What does that mean to you? When I give talks, I like everyone to personalize it in their own way. So one way that I might invite you to do that is if there's anything going on in your life that you have been working on healing, that you've been struggling with, or that keeps popping up over and over again. I know for me, I'll think I've got something down, and sure enough, something will come along to teach me who's boss, you know. It's an ongoing thing, working on our healing. And we can start with saying, well, what does that even mean, healing? You know, it's easy to default to doctors and Western medicine, or even Eastern medicine, acupuncture. We might go to get past life readings or look at our horoscopes, or, you know, there's a million different ways, crystal bowl healing. So when we're here looking at ourselves and talking about healing, you can say, what does that mean to me to be healed of this, whatever your issue is going on with life? And I'd like to present that, just like in the invocation that you read earlier, you talked about how we're souls here expressing as humans, which was beautiful. I thought, gosh, it couldn't have been more perfect of a reading for what we're going to talk about today. Isn't it funny how that works? But that's what we are doing. Spirit souls here expressing as the divine, expressing as God, and places where we have a desire for healing, or where we feel pain or dysfunction, are areas where we can say, gosh, I'm not knowing the divine in this area of my life. I'm struggling here. I'm feeling pain here. So this is where that opportunity for healing comes in, is how can I know that oneness, that wholeness is really the word. How can I know that more fully? How am I not knowing it in this area of my life? And it's a question that only you know the answer to. And I think just like in your reading, she talked about the inner locus of control versus the outer locus of control. We want to default to outside ourselves, looking for the healing or the help or someone to tell us what to do. And I'd like to present that maybe we can spend more time going inside and asking ourselves, what is mine to do? So it starts with pulling up whatever our event is that we feel not whole, that we feel we're struggling with or need healing, and really taking that time to ask ourselves, what is mine to do? And oftentimes there's just no answer. You know, I don't know about you, but sometimes I sit there and it's like, I have no clue. So there's that repetition and that quest to learn to, outside of your place that needs healing, is get to know your relationship with the divine. And what does that mean? Where do you know wholeness in your life? Where do you know healing? Where have you seen change? And how did that come about? a matter of trusting yourself as we build that in. So letting go of anything that you're supposed to do or should do to make you heal, and asking yourself, what is that for me? So when I presented the idea that you have something in your life to heal, pull something up, if you came up with nothing, I ask you to say, well, is that true that I have no area for healing? And then I also might say, well, maybe get out and do some more things. Go visit your family for a couple weeks and see if anything comes up for you. Because if we're here to know that wholeness and to embody it, that we want to kind of put ourselves in some spaces where we have that opportunity for growth, and it's not easy. The number one thing for us to do is to heal ourselves. I have a reading from our founder, Ernest Holmes. He says, in that Science of Mind textbook, self-healing must come first of all. That's the name of his reading. If we think we can guide our brother aright while our own feet still walk in darkness, we are mistaken. We must first clarify our own vision, and then we shall become lights, lighting the way for others. But can we teach a lesson we have not learned? Can we give that which we do not possess? To suppose so is hypocrisy, a thing to be shunned. We cannot see reality until our eyes are open, until the light of eternal truth has struck deeply into our own souls. We have a lot going on in the world right now. I mean, elections and all of the business of that is all over. We have wars going on. My daughter lives in Texas, just moved with her husband. She was in the hurricane, like smack right where the hurricane came. There's events going on in the world. And we often talk, particularly in our teaching, about peace and being that beacon of light for others. Seeing God in each soul we meet, knowing our oneness, not just knowing it up here, but being it. And what Ernest Holmes is saying is, do your own work first. We can talk about peace and write about peace and sing about peace and be this big, loud noise about peace with all of our suggestions and all of our knowing of being right. And it starts with us learning what does peace mean for me? And what is my journey to know it? And where am I not knowing peace in my life? Am I not knowing it when I get frustrated at the checker at the grocery store because she's talking while I'm in a hurry? Am I not knowing it with my husband when he leaves his socks on the floor every day? It's the little things. And we can do our work and look at, why does that really bother me? Do I feel disrespected? Do I feel not loved, not cared for? There's a million reasons. But we start with our own work. And it's not a right and wrong answer to how to heal that, because it's going to be different for me as it's different for you, as it's different for you. Everyone online is different, so it's your own journey. We all experienced trauma from COVID, like it was a world trauma. And I don't know that all of us have taken the time to heal from that. Like, we were so happy to get out of our house and to get back to normalcy. And we'll say, well, it'll never be like that again. But have we taken the time to breathe and just acknowledge the traumas that we did have and take the time to heal from it? I think a lot of us just went right back to work and we're busy, and that's just one example. So the story I shared earlier about, thank you for sending the professional, which isn't that a fun story? And the teaching moment for me in that is that we get to choose what we see. Like, under other circumstances, that woman could have seen this like big, dirty, kind of rough looking guy and been afraid, or just wanted to hurry and get out of the way, but she didn't. She, in her frantic fear, in her panic, She saw someone who might be able to help her, choosing what you see. So as we pull up our healing moment, our event, whatever, how can we see differently than we have been? That's really the question to ask yourself, because we've been seeing, none of us are children anymore, that we've probably had whatever we're working on for a while, and it might show up in different ways, but by the time we're adults, there's often patterns that we can see. And while we might be able to recognize the patterns, see the same relationship repeat itself over and over with different people, the same feelings that pop up of fear or lack or whatever that is, non-peace, how can we see it differently? How can I see it differently? And you want to get yourself to a place where you don't know the answer anymore, because therein lies the opportunity for change in the questions we ask ourselves. How can I see it differently? Where is the gift in here? Where is the gift in here? There's a book by a man named Colin Tipping called Radical Forgiveness, which you can get the free PDF online. It's a beautiful book, and it is about forgiveness. But the main teaching of that is that things come into people, and big events come into our lives. What if we had set that up? What if we had designed it before we were even born to have this person drive us nuts, or this trauma, however horrible it is, to happen? So that our soul, on a soul level, we could have healing and create change that is truly everlasting. That goes beyond the annoyance at the checker in the grocery store, or the dirty socks on the floor, or the pain that we feel every time we feel a disconnection with someone. And if we approach our life and the pain in our life in this way, as if it's the gift versus it's the pain, how might we be able to see it differently? And how might we have more clarity in where we're not knowing the wholeness, where we're not knowing oneness? And when I first had the topic Healing 101, the first thing you want to do is go see a therapist. We'll go see a practitioner. We'll go blah, blah, because that's what we do. Go to the doctor, go get an x-ray, go do this and this. Because that's what the reaction often is. It's not to say, well, how do I see this differently? How do I know this differently? How do I know myself in a different light? How do I see myself beyond this physical human body and on a soul level, as one expressing the divine? And how might I have a sense of urgency and passion to tackle these difficulties, knowing that on a soul level, I came here to heal this, or to know this, to learn, to express oneness and be wholeness through events such as this, or through people such as this. It's really interesting. I've been a business coach. I've been a coach for over 20 years. Run my own business, and I've worked with a lot of people, coaching them through different things. And one thing you can't coach people on, you can tell them what to do. You can show them different ways people have been successful doing it, but you can't coach urgency. You can't coach passion. You can't teach that to someone. It has to come from within. And for me, thinking of myself, knowing myself as a soul being here in this body, like how you read in the beginning, that gives my life a deeper purpose. And it makes it, any healing or any work I do, any love I learn to embody, knowing it goes beyond the day I leave this planet was pretty impactful for me. It made it more exciting. It made it more important to do the work. So as I say, what's your deal? What's going on for you today? We've got 20 minutes, an hour here together. If there's one thing I invite you to walk away with is seeing it a little differently, seeing what's going on all this week. And if you choose to, you can open yourself to choose to see what it is. What's here to be healed now? What's here for me now? And just keep asking it and choosing to be open, like it's an energy. Most of us, I think, go through life kind of closed and protected, and we go through our daily routine. Our weekly routine, coming here might be part of your routine, and it gets kind of comfortable. We go to work, we're with our family. How do we choose to be open? How do we invite the opportunity for healing in, even though it might kind of suck, you know? I have a reading I'd like to share by Jake Owensby. He was an Episcopal bishop. The kingdom is wherever God's love is shaking things up and bringing new things to life. Like, that's enough right there, but there's more. We are the hands, feet, and heart of God in this world, and we are all his ambassadors for healing and peace. We are the ones who God is calling to disturb things until they are made right. We are the ones who God is calling to stir the waters and to go up the river and make a change. We are the ones who God is calling to come to the table and make room for all. We are the ones who God is calling to court holy disruption to level the playing field for all. Isn't that beautiful? That was beautiful. So we've got Ernest Holmes on one hand saying, do your own work first. That's how you become a beacon of light to help others. And we have Jake here telling us this is what we're here to do, which I thought was beautiful. Healing doesn't mean that the change didn't exist. It means that it's not disrupting your life anymore. It's not running the show. And there's a mastery in that, a discipline in that. It's an old Native American proverb. So how do we show growth and spiritual progress in our event, whatever our issue is that we brought up? It doesn't necessarily happen when the big trauma is happening, when we're in the midst of the pain and the suffering. Most of our growth happens in our day-to-day spiritual practice, on our working on ourselves at the line at the grocery store when we're feeling annoyed and going, boy, I sure was annoyed. Why was I so annoyed? Because I'm in a hurry. Why am I, just digging underneath what's really going on. It's usually not the superficial stuff, right? There's usually things underneath it. So it's our spiritual practice every day. This is the work, the everyday, boring, monotonous spiritual practice is what builds our muscles up. So when the stuff really does hit the fan, we've got the muscles, we still are there to engage them, but it's not so shocking to the system. We have some foundation to build on. My daughter, who was in the hurricane, she's only lived there. She's in Lake Jackson. It's about an hour outside of Houston, like a year, barely a year. Very, it's Texas, very Christian, she's just in a very different community. And I said, so how's it going? And she goes, well, they didn't have power for a week. The hurricane actually was right there. The grocery stores were down. There were trees in the street. The lights didn't work. I said, how was it? And she said, well, everyone was real wholesome at first. And she didn't have to say much more, but it wears on you after a couple days of not having, you've lost everything in your refrigerator by the third day. No hot water. It's like 100 degrees. And she has 2 little kids. It wears on you. And that was all she said. Everyone was real wholesome at first. And then that was enough said. But that could be all of us. Like, it's that 3rd day, it's that 5th day where we all get worn down. It's human nature. What we're doing now, every day, our spiritual practice, doing whatever it is for you, because there's no right or wrong. It's unique for each of us. That's where the true healing happens. And then the last thing I want to share is being aware of our beingness each day, and then how we're viewing others with the eyes of compassion, knowing that others are here for the same reason we are, to know wholeness, to do their healing work. We focus often on ourselves so much, and as we, even just here in our spiritual community, we're all here, and we're going to have things that come up, but seeing others through those eyes of compassion is a muscle in and of itself to build up. Spirituality is not about not having any more problems. It's about being honest and courageous as we confront them. It's about changing our worldview from separation from others, especially our family and our friends and our coworkers, like people we're close to. It's about being compassionate and aware. I just said that. It's about being passionate and aware in our family life and our community. We all have trauma, and we are all in different stages of healing in our own unique way. So I ask you just to embody that and ask yourself, what is mine to do, as we close our eyes and go into prayer. You might take a deep breath and breathe in that loving, healing energy of the divine, knowing that every molecule of our bodies, every molecule we breathe in, every atom is that essence of the divine. It is God 101. It is that love, that beauty, that wholeness, that oneness, that ease of knowing compassion. We can't not be one with the divine. As we know this truth and really embody it into ourselves, we might feel our shoulders relax, our breath be deeper. For as we know this truth, we feel the love fill our bodies, fill our breath, our eyes. We see and know ourselves with compassion and with love. We see and know others in the community and in our family and in our world as a whole through the eyes of love, through the eyes of the divine. We do this easier and easier and easier each day because this is our natural state. And as we realize this truth, as we realize the love that is us, the healing that is our adventure here as humans on this planet at this time, happens with grace, happens more easily. It happens with love for ourselves and for others. We can give thanks to know this truth. We can give thanks for seeing and knowing and being these embodiments of peace and love and wholeness. And as we give thanks, we release these words to the law, knowing without a shadow of a doubt that as these words are spoken and the prayer is complete, we can join together and say, and so it is. Thank you.
Thank you, Reverend Kelly. That was beautiful. We're grateful God sent us a professional this morning. So we are so grateful for everyone's support of CSL Denver, whether it's in time, treasure, or talent, and especially during these times of change. Whether this is your first time joining us or you are a returning community participant, we want to thank you for your continual financial support of the important work we are striving to provide you. Right now, there are several ways you can make your financial contribution to Center for Spiritual Living Denver. This information is running along the bottom of the screen, or you can place your gift in the basket going around. Now, please repeat with me our usual affirmation. This perfect gift is spirit informed, circulating and blessing all that it touches. Freely I give and joyously I receive. So it is. A few announcements for today. Next Sunday, mark your calendar, August 18th, for our Divine Dialogue after service. And that will be after service until noon. Let's see. CSL Denver is thrilled to announce the brand new community cafe. This is our answer to the call for more community. And so there will not be a service online that August 25th. It is going to be our kickoff for our community cafe, where we will have kind of a potluck and a gathering, and we'll have a topic of discussion. I will lead the first discussion. It will be a kind of deep dive into how dreams can assist your symbolic growth. And please come and bring a friend and a snack to share with us and break bread with us. And please, those of you online, since there won't be a service online, we're encouraging you to come be with us so that we can get to know you as well as part of our community. We have older Science of Mind magazines for free on the table next to the fellowship table, along with our other handouts. The Science of Mind magazine is a bi-monthly magazine, so the current magazines are for May and June, and they are $4. If you would like to hear some good news of the world to affirm the good in the world, because there is good in the world, even though CBS and ABC and CNN don't always get it, there is a lot of good news. This program is put together by New Thought Media Network and airs on Fridays at 5 p.m. Mountain Time, or you can watch these anytime during the week. Just go to the Center for Spiritual Living Denver Facebook page and click on any post that says, "And now the good news." New Thought Media Network has 40 hours of weekly broadcast programming. We invite you to go to www.ntmedia.org and check out what they have. We are so truly blessed by everyone who has chosen to support CSL Denver by showing up on Sundays or watching us online. We know that as we move through the rest of this year, the divine beloved is guiding and loving each and every one of us. Thank you for joining us. Now let's close out with Karen Drucker singing, "I Am So Grateful." Thank you.